Welcome to Singapore Changi International Airport. And have you even started a travel video from Singapore? If you haven't started it here at the Jewel, it's the world's tallest indoor waterfall. It goes 130 feet from the top there right the way down to another like 40 meters or so underground here in the basement. Just incredible. And it's all done by recycled rainwater that sort of comes in from the top and flows all the way through, making this epic water feature. Seriously cool. Something else that's really cool is the airline I'm flying on today, because it's an airline that's fascinated me for the absolute longest time. Today I'm finally going to be flying on the national airline of Papua New Guinea. Let's head across to the terminal and let's go flying. Alright then, time to go and check in for my flights. Let's go and see if we can find this check-in desk. So Air New Guinea go from Terminal 1 here at Singapore, and it's from these desks here, but I've just spoke to somebody and apparently check-in doesn't open until 2 hours before departure, which seems very late considering it's a long haul flight that we're going on. Normally it's about 3 or 4 hours before they open, but 2 hours, so I've got about another half an hour to wait here, and then finally hopefully we can check in for our ride across to Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. Hello, check in please. Alright, we're all checked in. We're going to Papua New Guinea. My security here at Singapore is done at the gate, I think, so yeah, that was quite easy, straight through automated immigration. Just literally just put my passport on the little machine and straight through. So now heading to a lounge, hopefully, and get a bite to eat. Thank you. So then Air New Guinea used the SATS lounge here at Singapore, which I've been in before, I think, a few years ago. Not for a very long time though. And I've just come in and grabbed a quick bite to eat, chicken curry, a bit of rice for my tea, and a glass of water. See me through. It's just nice to get on my feet, to be honest. I'll just sit down for a bit, and then hopefully, I mean, what time do we? It's 6:30 now, and we board at like 8, half 8, so we'll see how long we get actually in here. Probably another hour and a half or so. Just nice to have a bit of a rest. Thank you. Alright, let's go and get to the gate and see if we can get on board our flight. I got to the gate to find my ride to Papua New Guinea waiting for me. It's a beautiful 31-year-old Boeing 767 originally delivered in 1991. So there she is, guys, the beautiful Air New Guinea Boeing 767 that's going to take me all the way across to Port Moresby tonight in Papua New Guinea, where I'll have a bit of a connection there, and then we continue onwards on another Air New Guinea 767, possibly the same one, but yeah, isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful 767 that is. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a very cool flight. Thank you. Thank you.
See ya, have a good one.
Thanks, see ya. Here we go, time to get on board the Air New Guinea 767. Oh yeah. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, how are you?
Good, and how are you?
Ah, fantastic, thank you.
Window seat.
5A. The business class cabin on the Air New Guinea 767 is pretty retro indeed in this 212 configuration. My window seat for tonight's flight was seat 5A. So welcome on board the Air New Guinea 767. Look at this leg room here. It's 212 config, similar to MyAts actually on the 76 that I flew with just a few weeks ago. So yeah, the same config actually, 212. Very retro cabin though. I mean, look at these overhead bins. They're the original 767 bins that used to get back in the 80s on the 76. We've got seat controls here. Decent IFE system though, look at this. Oh, mine's not working, but that one's working, you can check that one out. And we've got yeah, a little divider and everything to pop out here, look. live vest pops out from those seats and the little reading lamps there as well. Very cool indeed, and a beautiful cabin, absolutely beautiful for such an old aeroplane as well. Awesome, looking forward to this a lot as we head across from Singapore to Port Moresby. I think it's about a 6.5 hour flight tonight for the leg one of the flight before we continue onwards on the next leg, but yes, exciting times.
It is under the command of Captain Barry Morel and co-captain Naime.
After a really long taxi across Singapore Airport, it was finally time to get airborne for my flight to Papua New Guinea. Our route tonight then took us east out of Singapore to cross the Indonesian islands of Kalimantan and Sulawesi before crossing Papua and entering Papua New Guinea. Flight time tonight was 6 hours and 7 minutes at a cruising altitude of 31 and 33,000 feet. Alright then, airborne from Singapore on the Air New Guinea 767. What a cool takeoff that was, albeit it took forever for us to get out to the runway there. We must have literally been taken off in the right far corner of the airport there in Singapore, but never mind. We are airborne now. A bit of a weird takeoff. We sort of lifted off and every now and then the aircraft was making some very weird sort of jerky movements which didn't feel like weather. Didn't feel like wind at all. Felt like actual control impulse, which was a little bit strange, but never mind. We are airborne and we're heading on a 6 hour trek now across to Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. Very cool indeed. Can't wait to see what's in store on the rest of this flight. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Alright, then shall we have a little look what's on the box, what's on TV on the Air New Guinea 767. Let's have a little look what we've got. So if we turn the screen on, oh, there we go. Right, what we got. Let's have a look. It's a very fancy system and you can use your little mouse thing to sort of connect. See what movies we've got for a start. Oh, loads of movies. Action, animation, comedy, lots of drama. Lots of stuff there, Downtown Abbey. All sorts of stuff there, that's wicked. There's a lot of stuff there, I'm quite impressed with that. Let's go back here again. Oh, a man. There's a strange man. I don't know, he looks like he's trying to do a poo. Either that or he's intently staring at what I'm doing on here. Let's see what's on TV. 78 programs, wow. All sorts, literally all sorts. Wow, very impressed with that. Crikey. Have a look in audio. Loads. 215 to listen to. Incredible. And of course the flight map. Let's have a look at the flight map. What we got on the flight map. Very nice indeed. You know what? For a plane, it's 30 years old. This aircraft was delivered in 1991 to Scandinavian Airlines. 30 years old, very retro with all the overhead bins and everything like that. The in-flight entertainment is incredible. Look at that, it's amazing. Such an old plane. Very impressed with that. Yeah, it's excellent. You know, I'm just waiting to do a loo review, and I found the strangest seat on this 767. Well, isn't this just the weirdest seat ever? Right between the two loos. There's like another row behind the loos as well. So funny. Imagine being stuck in that seat. Wow.
It's time for the Noel Phillips Loo Review.
Alright, welcome to the Air New Guinea loo review on the 767. Fresh loo, because it's only literally just been opened, so it's very clean as you'd expect. A few toiletries and things there. And there's a nice handsome looking fella. on the bog. And no funny signs or anything. All very good. All very good. Yeah, very good so far. Absolutely excellent. That seat outside these toilets is a bit weird, isn't it? Imagine the poor guy sitting in that seat. But never mind. Yeah, it is good. I'm really enjoying Air New Guinea so far. The cabin crew are delightful. Very, very nice. Good service so far. And yeah, we'll be very early into the flight. I'm not sure whether that big delay taking off is going to cause any issues or not with my connection. It's quite a tight connection I've got down in Port Moresby, but I have a feeling that they will look after people who are connecting onwards. So yeah, so far so good.
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Alright then, food time. We've got looks like a bit of a beef salad type thing with a couple of quail's eggs on there. That's a starter. I've ordered the beef with potato for my main course, and then we've got a bit of pudding there served up and a glass of water. So all good so far. I mean, a clean fork might be nice, but I'll put that one aside. I'll just use the other one. Different, very smoky. Right, the main course has turned up and I've gone for the beef today. Beef and mashed potato. Nice. Let's give that a go. The beef's nice, but that mashed potato is flipping divine. It's lovely, that is. Really nice. Nom nom nom, delicious. You know, as much as it's getting a bit long in the tooth now, the 767 still holds such a special place in my heart as an aircraft. It's just been there for so much of my life, and it's responsible for so much of my life. The 767 is, for example, the 767 was the first aircraft I ever flew on back in 1992 with British Airways. That's the flight that spawned my love of aviation, and without that I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. My whole entire love of aviation came from that one flight on a 767 back in 92. My first flight to the US was on a Boeing 767 with Air Canada and Canadian Airlines back in 2000. Again, without the 767 I wouldn't have fallen in love with the US and with America to the degree that I have now. It's just on so many other places that I've been to that the 767 has just been such an important part of my life, and I love it. And I love that airlines like Air New Guinea keep these things flying, especially when they keep the original sort of configs of the overhead lockers and things like that, proper retro style. They just keep soldiering on. The first plane I ever went on, the British Airways 767, is still flying today. It was brand new back in 1992 and it's still flying today with Eastern Airlines over in the US. That's the 767. It's a proper little workhorse. Absolutely love them, and it's just so nice that you can still fly on them with airlines like Myat and Air New Guinea around the world, and there's loads more as well, and I just savour every minute I can on board these 767s because they're just such an incredible aircraft to fly. Right, I'm going to put the flatbed down, try and get some sleep. Let's see how we do this. Are we done? I think that's done. I feel like I'm at the dentist. Open wide. There we go, the flatbed. It's not quite a flatbed, but it's an ankle flatbed. So I'm going to try and get some sleep now. The leg room is just phenomenal here, by the way. Check out that leg room. And the thing I love is, with this config, even in business class, they've left the seats with so much space in between them that if you've got somebody on the aisle, you'll be able to get around them and get out to the aisle if you're in the window seat, which I think is fantastic. So many airlines don't do that, but by giving us a little bit more room, it means that if there was somebody at the side of me, then it wouldn't matter. I could still get up to do my loo review halfway through the flight, because I'd be able to get around them. Very good. Anyway, I'm going to try and get some kit out, so yeah, I will see you in a few hours, hopefully, when we'll be approaching Papua New Guinea. Good night. Well, good morning. Just woken up. We're about 45 minutes now away from Port Moresby, landing down there. I've slept for about 3-4 hours maybe. Wasn't too bad. Actually pretty comfortable. Once you get settled in on this seat, pretty comfy indeed. It's been a very quiet flight as well. They've had all the lights off and it's been pretty quiet all in all, so it's been quite nice. So yeah, about another 42 minutes it reckons now. We'll be landing down in Port Moresby. So yeah, once we actually land down into Port Moresby, I've got a connection down there. And it's a very tight connection. It's like an hour and 5 minutes to connect onto my next flight, which takes me on to Brisbane in Australia. But it's a very tight connection. It's only an hour and 5 minutes, so I don't know what connections in Port Moresby are going to be like. I guess we'll figure it out when we get down there, really. Hopefully they've got some sort of process in place to get me through, seeing as I'm checked in for both flights. So yeah, we'll see when we get down there.
I wouldn't have too long to wait to find out as we started our approach down into Port Moresby, the capital city of Papua New Guinea.
Connecting on PX003 to Brisbane, PX090 to Cairns. You are required to proceed straight to the International Transit Departure Lounge. Thank you for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. You will now disembark.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Welcome to Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. I've got about 40 minutes to make my next flight, so let's see if we can do this. They told us to go straight to the next gate, so let's go and see if we can get there. Hi, transit, yes, Brisbane, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
How was the flight?
Good, thank you, yeah. How are you? Oh, that was all very easy, wasn't it? Straight through transit security here. Probably some of the friendliest security I've ever done, which is quite nice. Very easy. And now waiting just in the transit lounge, and it's taken a grand total of about 4 minutes since getting off the plane to get here. So fantastic, love it. Very easy transfer experience here in Port Moresby. So yeah, pretty soon heading back across to a 767. Maybe the same one, maybe a different one, I don't know. We'll figure it out. There was another one on the stand over there, but that's going to take us down to Brisbane in Australia. So the plane that is taking us to Brisbane has actually, it's not the one we've just come in on, it's one that's just arrived from Singapore. That is the one we've just come in on. I'm confused, ignore me. So it's all a little bit confusing. We're supposed to be going from gate number 2, which is sort of down that way. But that's blocked off, you can't get down there. There's only gate 3 and 4 up here, and they're telling everybody to wait up here in gate 3 and 4. So I'm not entirely sure what is happening, and which gate we're going for. Everyone seems just as confused. There's only 2 flights going, and nobody's got a clue where we're going because there's no signs up or anything, and it's currently, I think my flight leaves at 6:30, and right now it is 6:09, so 20 minutes till the flight's due to leave, and we don't know where we're going from. But never mind, it's only a small airport, everyone's so friendly. I've been and grabbed a coffee while I'm waiting. And hopefully not long we can get back on that 767 and get a bit more rest on the way down to Brisbane. Eventually it started to get light out and our aircraft was finally ready for boarding. Once more I headed down to the beautiful Air New Guinea 767 to take me on my next leg down to Australia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stand the stairs, sir.
Thank you. Alright, back aboard the same 767 taking us now to Brisbane. Now I don't know about you, but there's always something incredible about boarding a wide-body aircraft through air stairs. It's always an incredible feeling as an av geek to walk right beside the aircraft you're about to fly on. Do you prefer stairs or the jet bridge? Let me know down in the comments.
Good morning, sir. You're on your left.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Hi, good morning. Alright, so back on board this same Air New Guinea 767 that I've just come off from Singapore, and I'm sitting on the other side now. And the sun's coming up over Papua New Guinea. I've just seen, as I was waiting, I couldn't get a shot of it unfortunately, the Fokker 100 of Air New Guinea taxiing now. They've got a few, and there's some over there on that other ramp over there as well. Pretty flipping cool. Some good stuff here in Papua New Guinea. I just wish that I could have stayed a bit longer. My original plan was to come and stay and fly on some of these cool planes they've got here, but unfortunately the timings just didn't work out, and I think when I looked at booking it, PNG were having some real issues with COVID and quarantines and all sorts of stuff like that, so it was making it a bit tricky, but maybe soon, because this is sort of whetting my appetite a lot for these old Fokker planes and other little bits and bobs they've got flying around. They've got some seriously cool aviation stuff here in PNG, so yeah, definitely be back at some point I think to try some of that, but for now we are heading south again, and heading into Australia. The first time I've been there in 4 years. Last time I was there obviously on my little 71-hour trip to to Australia and New Zealand and back. Didn't stick around for long on that one. This time I'm there for a bit longer, but you'll find out more about that a bit later on. But yeah, for now just looking forward to getting down there and getting back to Australia. I can't wait to see the scenery of Papua New Guinea as well as we take off.
This morning. Such apologies due to aircraft change. We took the closing door now, so taxi car take off towards the southeast and southern track down to Brisbane this morning, climbing to 37,000 feet above sea level.
It was finally time to push back from the gate on my flight to Australia. I was looking forward to the flight, but I was also looking forward to finally setting foot in Australia again. My next leg then took me to Brisbane, Australia, flying south out of Port Moresby towards the Australian coast and then along the Queensland coast to Brisbane. Flight time for this leg was 2 hours 48 minutes, cruising at 37,000 feet. Alrighty then, so airborne from Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, heading down now to Brisbane in Australia. Fantastic little airport that is at Port Moresby, very cute little terminal building. Really easy connection actually. I was very impressed with how easy that went. That 1 hour connection was absolutely no issue, although we ended up being a little bit delayed on this one because they were still cleaning it from the flight over from Singapore. But never mind. It reckons we're only going to be about 2.5 hours till we're landing down in Brisbane, and looking forward to getting there actually. They've said that we're going to get breakfast on this flight, which I'm going to have I think, and then just try and chill and relax a little bit ahead of my arrival into Brisbane because it's been a long old day. I've been awake now for about 24 hours bar the couple of hours sleep I got on the last flight, so I'll be ready to hit my bed when we get to Australia. Oh, we get an actual menu on this flight, which we didn't get on the last one. Shall we see what we get, what the choices are? Let's have a little look. Welcome on board Air New Guinea PX003, that's us. Appetizer, fruit plate selection, cheesy omelette or scrambled eggs with bacon, hash brown, tomato. Oh, that does sound very healthy. That's not healthy at all, actually. It does sound very tasty. I mean, what's the other option? Omelette with hash brown. They've both got hash brown, haven't they? I think I'll have me eggs. And then some tea and ping coffee. I like ping coffee. I had one in ping, which was very nice, very strong, but needed to wake up. Yeah, I think I'll go for the cheesy omelette, I think. No, I didn't say cheesy, I'm getting so tired. Scrambled eggs is what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for the scrambled eggs, I think. Sounds like a good idea. And a nice coffee. I need lots of caffeine because I can't even remember what I'm saying. So now, I don't like to judge, but there is an Australian man up here in business class. I'm not going to point out who he is, obviously, but bearing in mind it's 7 o'clock in the morning and this guy has just ordered his breakfast and she's asking if he wants tea or coffee and he's like, no, spirits. This guy is necking spirits with his breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning, like, instead of coffee. I mean, fair play to him. I mean, if he can if he can have stomach spirits at 7 o'clock in the morning instead of a black coffee or whatever, fair play to him. But seriously, wow. I wish I had his stomach to be able to do that. Alright, so the food has turned up, or at least the first part of it. A bit of fruit for starters. Now the hot food will surely turn up in a minute. Watermelon, my favourite. I could eat watermelon all day. It's lovely. Alright, so scrambled eggs with bacon and hash browns. I'm not going to lie, it doesn't look the most appetising. Slightly anemic looking baked beans and not fantastic looking scrambled eggs, but let's give it a go. I'm starting to wish I'd gone for the omelette. Oh, actually, it doesn't taste that bad. It tastes better than it looks. Still think I might have preferred the omelette though. Alright then, so the verdict's on Air New Guinea. I mean, let's face it, the aircraft that we're riding on, it's not going to win any awards for sort of world's best business class or anything like that. It's quite an old business class config. A little bit tired and worn down inside. The seats are quite tired and stuff, although the in-flight entertainment is pretty decent, as we saw earlier on. The cabin crew have been absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely, like, nothing is too much trouble. They're so friendly and jovial, and having a laugh with them throughout the flight and everything. It's been absolutely amazing, and even the staff down on the ground in Port Moresby were really nice as well, to the same sort of level. So yes, crew-wise, Air New Guinea, absolutely fantastic. The food, well, it's not going to win any culinary awards, is it? It's not exactly world standard business class food. It's pretty much what they've got back in economy, but just slapped on a normal plate instead of a plastic dish to eat from. But yeah, it's acceptable. For the price I paid though, I mean, it cost me 1,600 quid for this flight one way from Singapore to Brisbane, and let's face it, for that price I could have flown Singapore Airlines business class, and obviously a much nicer business class. But so let's be honest though, where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in flying on Singapore Airlines business class when you can fly something super duper cool like an old Air New Guinea 767 and fly through Papua New Guinea and try out this incredible airline and fly on this piece of aviation history all the way down to Brisbane? I mean, come on, this is real flying, isn't it? This is as good as it gets. Forget Singapore Airlines business class or Emirates or all the rest of it. this is where the fun is, isn't it, flying on airlines like this? And that is something that Air New Guinea do incredibly well. So if you want to fly on something really super duper cool and you're in this neck of the woods, then yeah, take a ride on Air New Guinea. They fly all over Australia, I think. They fly to Sydney and Brisbane and Cairns, I believe, as well. And connect up to Singapore and Tokyo and Hong Kong as well, I think. And obviously all around Papua New Guinea as well on those really cool Fokker 100s. You can get a ride on up there too. So yeah, come and check out Air New Guinea. They are an amazing airline. I've had an amazing time flying with them today. And yeah, I'd love to fly on them again at some point soon. Australia, it's still there. It still exists. Thank you to this week's video sponsor, Surfshark, who always come to the rescue whenever I want to watch some British TV when I'm travelling. Surfshark is a VPN provider, and what that means quite simply is that you can use their software to connect to the internet from anywhere in the world and make it look like you're just at home, which has some really good benefits. For instance, I could be sitting here by a sunny pool in Vietnam and watching some Top Gear on my phone. It lets me watch EastEnders here in the middle of the Australian outback. Oh yeah, I'll have a Castlemaine 4X please, mate. Cheers. Surfshark even lets me catch up with Only Fools and Horses while I'm here in New York. Now Surfshark are offering you a massive 83% discount plus 3 months free when you use my promo code Noel Phillips at the link on the screen now. What are you waiting for? Even Baby Shark approves. Watching the scenery of Australia go past my window felt so strange after the country was effectively sealed off from the world for so long. It felt like a glimpse into a forbidden land where, until just recently, few could enter, and yet now, just a few short months later, I was about to set foot once again on this far-flung corner of the planet. I was finally back in the land of Qantas and Virgin Australia. Seeing those Australian airliners on the ground felt so good, but also a little bit taboo. In somewhat of a familiar story these days, despite Australia having been open for a few months when I'd landed, it felt strange suddenly being allowed back into a country that had closed its borders for so long.
Cabin crew, prepare doors for arrival.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. As always, a massive thank you to my patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can join them at the link on the screen now for access to my WhatsApp group, live Zoom calls with me, and much, much more. For all the restrictions that used to be here just a few months earlier, arriving into Australia now seemed so easy. There was no COVID test or anything required, I just went straight through the e-gates for passport control and I'd collected my bag within 10 minutes of getting off the plane.
This stop is best for Qantas passengers.
A short bus ride later and I'd arrived at the domestic terminal just a short walk away from my hotel for the next few days, the Pullman Hotel at Brisbane Airport. Hello. Oh, it feels so good to be back in Australia. after all this time. And I've got some fantastic flights coming up while I'm here on my stay in Australia, so make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss any one of them. In the meantime, well, I'm off to get some sleep, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.